Welcome to Roll Call.
Well,
I'm Mike Bonenfant.
I'm Steve Crowninshield. I lost my place there. Sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
I thought you forgot who you were.
Yep.
It's been a while, Stephen, since I've sat in here with you.
Yes, it has. We're back. I'd like to say by popular demand, but no. No.
We paid to be back on.
Yes.
Actually, we've come back with an abridged version. Going to be a much shorter show, so he won't have to stand for us for that long, which is
That's
good.
right.
Just to give you some updates on what's going on and to kind of keep you informed once again.
And it's going to be on the internet, right? This is going to be like some kind of podcast thing, not so much on the cable. As of right now, who knows how all this plays out, but believe it or not, people liked how we informed them of stupid people and stuff that was going on.
It's kind of bad that we don't know where this is going to be, exactly where this is going. So if you're watching this, could you call either me or Steve and let us know where you're seeing this?
Yeah.
It's got to be.
We're not 100% sure. We think it's going to be a YouTube channel. Again, I don't know if you noticed, but Mike and I aren't like 20 years old anymore, so that technology stuff is way beyond us. So yeah.
Stephen, I just turned 29.
This is true. I'm sorry.
Like 25 years ago. But anyway.
So we're back. The premise of the podcast, same thing, is to give you not as many stories, a few stories, but more or less the updates of the city, traffic problems, where the next construction big job's going to be, and all that kind of.
County Street. Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, there's still a lot of traffic. We'll do that right now.
Go ahead.
There's still a lot of traffic around town. A lot of construction jobs. There's still a bridge job going on Court Street in Washington. There is a lot of work going out on 140 County Street. Verizon's got a few jobs going up there, and they're widening Route 140 from Home Depot out to Route 24, which is going to be 2 lanes all the way out. Be a little nicer, hopefully.
Finally, after
it's only been a couple of years. I actually talked to one of the guys on the work crew, was with the original crew that did that stretch in 1980. Yeah, he's been doing that kind of work a long time, and he's like, I remember doing that. I'm like, you don't remember the stores then, because that was woods in 1980. So you remember that, right?
I grew the tree. The other thing too is with all the, this is an update on all the sewer projects. We're on to phase 12. I don't know, the thing is, I don't know how many phases they're going to be, but the city's sewer system was in very, very bad shape. It is now much, much better.
Yes.
But it takes time, it takes money, it takes inconvenience, but they're working hard at it. Some of the sewer was into the storm drains, because that was back in the day, that was a thing. Mm-hmm. Some of the sewer, up until this is end of August of 2016, they just recently, within the last week or two, still found sewer that was going right into the river. That's hard to believe that at some point this hasn't been, but it's fixed now. But so the system was in bad shape. Yeah. So it's.
We know the biggest problems were the priorities. Obviously, something like that, where it was going into the wrong system, especially sewage into the wrong system, was the priority. So
then it overtaxed the treatment plant. Blah blah blah.
Yeah. So, but they're getting there. So, give you a little heads up what this is going to be like. We're still going to do some stories. Talk about some of the major things that have gone on in the city, and the interesting, humorous stories that at least Steve and I find funny. And then we'll give you some pointers as to anything else that we think is relevant for you to know, something that's important, like an update on traffic or something else the police department's doing right now. So.
Right.
Works for you?
Works for me, brother.
Can I hit a couple stories then?
Go ahead.
A little piece of what's going on? You know, I remember when we finished doing this show, it seemed like we were talking about ATVs then. ATVs have always been a big problem for us. And you know what? We're back at them. So this is from a report, actually 2 reports. Steve Joyner did one of them, and I want to say Brett Collins did the other. Those are probably names you remember from way back when. Steve actually investigated a break on Norton Road, and Officer Collins responded to Memorial Park for a report of an ATV over there. They ended up rounding up 3 different people, and the 2 investigations ended up being connected. They found out who had stolen the ATVs, and they found who was in possession of them at Memorial Park. So, a John Greenhour, a Jacob Souza, and a Roberto Paez, all of this city. Nope, sorry, Mr. Greenhour was from Whitman. They are charged with breaking and entering in the nighttime with intent to commit a felony. And I do believe Mr. Greenhour was also charged with receiving stolen property. So, another ATV at least located. We've had horrible luck with ATVs as far as them getting stolen, and as well as even the legitimate ones that people actually own being used on city streets where they shouldn't be. So do us a favor, stay off the road. It's dangerous. You're going to get yourself killed, and you're going to get yourself in trouble and your ATV taken away if we catch you.
And if you do buy an ATV legitimately, because Michael and I both are motorcycle off-road type guys, register it with the state. And I know there's not many off-road places you can ride, and it seems like an extra expense, and maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But what the important thing does, it takes your VIN and it puts it in the computer. So if it does get, because we have got, I don't know if we have any more, but a lot of times we'll get an ATV, we'll run the number, we know the guy that has it doesn't belong with it, but we cannot prove that it's stolen. You run the VIN number, and if it comes back to nothing, we have to prove that that machine is stolen. It makes it very difficult. So when you get your new machine, even if it's used, new to you, if you register it, at least it gets the VIN in the machine. That is huge. It gives us another tool.
Exactly.
Because it's nothing more frustrating when you grab a kid, a guy, not just kids, and a person, and you run the VIN, and you know it doesn't belong with them, but you can't prove it.
Yeah, and that goes with everything. A lot of stuff goes unreported. We have a lot of items at the station that we don't know who the owner is because people have not reported it stolen. If you're missing something, you have a small break into your house or your car, do us a favor and report it.
Sure.
You may not, you may not bother with your insurance because it's such a small thing. If something, if someone broke into your car and stole some change or maybe a couple IDs or something, but we end up with those IDs from somebody, and now we have no victim, or something that we know belongs to somebody, some jewelry, especially that type of stuff that belongs to someone. This person doesn't have the rightful ownership of it, but we can't put a victim to it. So yeah, please at least report it.
And this is something on a separate note. The drug issue in the big city, it hasn't gotten any better. Actually, it's gotten worse. This is just some numbers to throw out, just something you can sink your teeth in. In 2014, we had 14 heroin deaths. In 2015, we had, here's a thing, we registered 11, but it's really 18. I'll explain that in a second. This year so far, again, end of August of 16, we've had 25. These are deaths. 2014, we had 209 overdoses that we as the police responded to. We had 210 in 15, and so far we had over 200 in 16. Some of these numbers are a little skewed because, again, in Massachusetts, we do nothing simple. In 2014, how you recorded an overdose death
You had it
was
right,
different than how we record it now. In other words, if you went to the hospital today and you had a heart attack, and now when they do the autopsy, they realize it's because you're on heroin, that would be a heroin overdose, which it should be. For 2014, it wasn't as clear. So the numbers are more realistic, the newer numbers, the 2016 numbers are better. And that's what happened with the 2015. It says we had 11, they have 18 because there was 7 deaths in there that got readjusted. They were overdoses, but didn't appear to be at first. So just so you know, the overdose crisis, the heroin crisis is nowhere in check. It's going full steam. Just be careful.
Absolutely. And if you know someone who's suffering that addiction, try to get them some help. There's a ton of places for these people to get help. Yeah. They can beat the problem even if they think they can't. So, and the police department's more than happy to work with someone to try to get help for them. So
we have a lot of assets we can guide them to.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, here's the thing. This is going to be a much shorter program. We're down to like the last couple minutes. But what we'd like to do is we'd like to know what you want out of this, what you're looking for. Please don't tell us a longer program. Maybe you're looking for a couple different co-hosts. That's good too. But
no.
At least one. But just reach out to us. Let us know by email or hit the Taunton PD website up.
Yep.
We're up on Facebook as well. And let us know what you want. And other than that, we'll be here probably every couple weeks or so.
Yeah.
Depends on what Steve tells me I have to do. I got dragged back in this time.
That's right.
And we'll go from there. So hopefully you enjoy it once again. We enjoy doing it.
Yeah. See you in a couple weeks.
Excellent.
Thank
you for watching.
I'm not quite sure where we'll see you, but somewhere.
They're going to let us know, Steve.